This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming.
Hey guys, back with another Doom video after about a little over a week. Now I was originally going to do a best snap maps video last week, but I got caught up in the new Far Harbor DLC releasing for Fallout 4. So what I figured I would do this week is combine some of the maps you guys asked me to look at in the comments section, along with some just other ones that I found and I liked. So I've picked 5 along with 1 honorable mention. So without further ado, these are the top 5 best single player and solo snap map levels for Doom 2016 Week 2 and 3. We'll go ahead here and we'll go over our honorable mention, and that is going to be the UAC IO processing core. Now, this map ID equals DSVU F29G, and this is created by Doom SnapMap user Suit Leopard. Now, the goal of this map is to collect 3 energy cells to restore life support before you run out of air. You have 12 minutes to complete this task, and if you don't, you lose. And yes, you can die over and over again as long as you beat this thing within 12 minutes. Now, this is probably one of the best maps that I've played when it comes to the diversity of weapon types that are available for you to use. I've played so many single player campaign maps that only make use of the default combat shotgun, and then they decide to spawn like either Mancubus or Cyber Mancubus enemies when I really need a more powerful weapon to take those things down. I also like the arena style maps that he chose here, and it's very reminiscent of some of the things that we saw in Doom's single player campaign mode. However, the reason I didn't include his or her map in the countdown is that I have a hard time figuring out where I'm supposed to go sometimes, because the level design is sort of like a labyrinth. Like you'll go back to places that you don't mean to go, and it sort of throws you off in a little bit. Now, another problem I have with this map is that because of the size of some of the arenas and the way the AI has been programmed, you could spend up to a minute trying to find the enemy that you're supposed to kill. However, all of that said, I think these are some things that he or she could easily fix, and I'd be happy to take another crack at this map when they finally decide to do so. Now let's go ahead here and we'll start with number 5. And that is going to be Hot Potato, Thy Spud Consumed. Now, there's a good chance that you've probably heard about this map. The map ID is going to be ZGLRZC92, and the map's author is Real Soviet Bear. Now, what you do in this map is you carry energy cores to a checkpoint before you die, and the map author is calling this radiation. Basically, what this does is it just decreases your health over time until you die, and then you have to start over again. Now, there are 2 checkpoints and 3 different quote-unquote races that you have to perform. They get sequentially more and more difficult as you progress, and specifically, the last race consists of laser beams and like electrical pawns that can damage you and kill you really fast if you're not careful. Now, you can interact with the Cacodemon at a shop where you can purchase either speed, health, or radiation resistance upgrades. Now, from my experience, speed and health are really the most important upgrades. You can actually get by without the radiation resistant upgrades, particularly if you know where to go already and you've already beaten this map. Then again, not knowing where to go the first time is part of the challenge, and you very may well need those radiation resistance upgrades. Overall, if you still haven't heard of this map yet, I think you should go ahead and check it out. Number 4, Devil's Landing Mission 1. Now, this is actually a map that somebody mentioned to me in the comments section of the last video, so do put your maps in the comments section. I am going to check them out and just look at them, and I'll add them to the list if I like them. Now, the map ID for this one is going to be PZLK98DM, and the author of this map is Doom SnapMap user Shipmate. Now, this is just your standard campaign mission map, and what I really like about it is the level of contrast that is on display here. You go from areas that are like normal to like completely dark, and then even these like demonic areas, and towards the end you get into this area that is like all red, and I suppose it's sort of to like kind of designed to be like where it's like low gravity, except it's not, because I don't think you can actually make stuff low gravity with the Doom Snapmap engine, but whatever, it's still pretty cool. Now, the effects like smoke and fire are used here to obscure your view during combat, and it can make it challenging to complete this particular map at first. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I actually like what he did here with that specifically. Now, there is a point in the map where you get into a really confined space, and you have to kill a specter and 2 imps while avoiding like these laser beams. And honestly, I think this is a pretty cool and creative level design, if I say so myself. Now, there are no losing conditions that I'm aware of. Other than that, if you decide to give up on this map, obviously you lose. Definitely check this map out. I really liked it. Number 3, UAC or UAC Man. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Now, the map ID for this is VQHF2ZKD, and the author is Jason Zero. Now, basically what this is it's Pac-Man meets Doom, hence why I said UAC Man. And of course, it just says Pac-Man meets Doom, and that is literally in the description for this map. Now, instead of eating little pellets and then occasionally acquiring big pellets to eat ghosts like you normally do in Pac-Man, you instead are collecting orbs, and then you occasionally acquire quad damage to kill enemy specters. And you have 1 life and 1 minute and 17 seconds to acquire all of the orbs on the map. If you die, you lose. If you run out of time, again, you lose. Now, this map is a fairly decent challenge at first, but once you get the strategy, it becomes fairly easy to repeatedly beat. Here are a couple tips for you if you're interested. First, divide and conquer the top, then middle, and then lower floor. And then second, take advantage of the teleporters to quickly traverse the map and lose the specters that are on your tail. And beware, those specters do a lot of damage. If you haven't checked this map out for any reason, I still think you should check out UAC Man for sure. Number 2, exclamation point race. Now, the map ID for this is going to be 33R8 XC4N. I'm probably going to butcher the author's name here, but I'm just going to say Kioske. I'll leave it up there in the video so you could read it for yourself and then tell me how right or wrong I am. Now, basically what this map is that you have 3 minutes to reach the very end of the level. And you'll notice from my gameplay at the very start of the level that you move incredibly slow at first. However, once you hit the button at the bottom of those stairs, you gain like 900 armor and 900 health and like super speed. It's also worth mentioning that you also gain increased damage, and killing enemies seems to increase your score once you finally complete the level. Now, if you do die, you lose the game. If you run out of time, you also lose the game. Otherwise, you don't have to kill things, just get to the very end without dying. This is a short but fairly fun map to play in my opinion, and I would definitely recommend it if you haven't tried it yet. Number 1, exclamation point guard tail. Now, the map ID for this one is going to be XLA3MZU5, and the author is Doomed XX. Now, so have you ever wondered what the UAC security soldiers were doing on Mars while the Doom Marine was off killing the various denizens of hell? Well, in this map, you play as a UAC security guard dealing with and fighting through hordes of demons. Now, unlike most of the other campaign maps that I've seen so far, the player moves much slower, and there are various text boxes that describe what the UAC security guard you're playing is experiencing, thinking, or whatever. And in my humble opinion, this is a really well put together map and feels a lot like something that could feasibly fit in Doom's regular campaign levels. All you'd really need at this point is some voice acting, maybe some newer animations, and some other stuff. Honestly, I think this is really impressive in my opinion. Apparently, Doom XX, who is the author of this map, is working on part 2, and I'll just say that I am definitely looking forward to part 2, and if that guy somehow sees this video, let me know when you make part 2, so That's going to be awesome. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like. And as always, take care, and I'll see y'all next time.